I'm over here with Colin. We're at PAX West right now. So, Colin, can you please tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Royalty Free for All. It is a hand-drawn party brawler starring royalty-free characters. So we've got Sweeney Todd, Lancelot, the Loch Ness Monster, Mother Goose, and it's just a total blast.
Yeah, I just played it with a couple of the employees here. It was a total blast. I got my butt handed to me. You could pick it up and play it easily, but you could kind of get more technical if you wanted to. Is there a reason for like the design for that?
Yeah, totally. That is the mission. Smash Bros is my favorite game ever, like by a mile. And I have this problem consistently where a lot of my friends love the idea of it and they want to try to pick it up and play it, but 35 moves a character across 80 characters is just, they give up in one match. Maybe two if we're lucky. And so I want to make a game that's completely accessible. It simplifies the buttons down to weak, strong, and special. They work on the ground and in midair. So every character has 6 moves to follow. It's really easy to learn. And then we squeeze variety out of it. So we've got a character called Lilith who has a projectile with 5 different angles and 3 different charge states. She can then juggle it. So there's like 60 different projectile options, even though it's just one simple attack.
So I was playing with the one character, Sakura, who also has like a lot of different variations on like her dash attack and like the direction of the knives. So it's like a nice way to introduce some technical aspects while still keeping the controls really simple, which I feel like a lot of fighting games these days have been kind of trying to gear towards that to kind of maybe help the player base like come in a little bit, which is awesome because I think the fighting game community always needs more players.
Totally.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, so besides like the really good pun for a name, royalty free for all, like why with the public domain?
There's a lot of characters that everyone knows and loves in the public domain. And there was this trend for a little while of these crossover party brawlers, multiverses, Nicktoons, and kind of the thing that they all had in common was like a parent company. And I was trying to think, well, what's the next big umbrella of IP? Well, it's actually stuff that everybody has the right to use freely. And so I started thinking, there's all these great famous characters in the public domain. There's Dorothy, there is Oliver Twist, there is Bigfoot, Frankenstein, Dante are our 3 stretch goals on Kickstarter, which is live right now. And I just found myself like with a spreadsheet of like 700 different fighter options, and eventually it got to the point where it started as a joke, haha, royalty free for all, but there were so many good ideas that genuinely arose.
The greatest thing too is like you could keep just adding characters and characters, but one thing I was wondering about is like, so you mentioned you have Dorothy, but the twist is that she wished to be a dog.
She wished to talk to Toto, and it sort of backfired a little bit. She became a little dog too, haha.
When you are picking the characters for the public domain, I'm assuming there's like kind of like a twist you want so that you can build a moveset. Can you like describe that process a little bit?
Yeah, so we kind of zoom out and then zoom in. Part of the development process of these characters was like thinking about a different sort of literary archetype that a bunch of different characters over time have fulfilled. So if we take Lancelot, for example, it didn't necessarily start with Lancelot. In fact, it started with King Arthur. But we took this concept of a big, burly guy who has really heavy moves. He's our heavy fighter. And we started thinking, expanding the idea. What different characters fit on that concept? Hercules is an option. Poseidon is an option. Gilgamesh is an option. Ultimately, Lancelot, I think, is sort of the best fit for us. Super duper famous. He was an early fan fiction character. That quality is sort of lost to time, but he was inserted to the King Arthur mythos by a French poet. So he represents something in the history of human creativity in that way that was really important to me. But you'll notice he surfs on mud. He has a big eruption move. He's kind of got these earth powers that were inspired by the scrapped idea of Poseidon on this character.
I see.
And it works for Lancelot. They've got these English battlefields full of mud, and you strike the ground and the mud flies up. There's sort of this zoom out and zoom in that happens that winds us up at their movesets.
I played about 4 different characters and then played against probably most of the cast, and everything just felt very creative. You have at its core 6 moves, so every move gets so much detail and attention. And one of the things I have to point out, if anyone who is going to watch this, they need to really look at the hand-drawn animations because it's just really beautiful. And just shout outs to, I don't think your art guy's here.
Well, unfortunately he's not able to be here, but he's just supremely talented. This wouldn't be anything without him.
So you mentioned the Kickstarter, but do you have a release date in mind?
It depends in part on how well the Kickstarter does. Because if we're, hitting all our stretch goals, we think we'll be out in March.
Okay. March 2026. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like in the game industry these days, we need to specify the year because you just never know.
2075 if we're waiting for all the characters we want.
Yeah, the last DLC, Ultimate Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this last question is just gonna be kind of like a curveball because I'm just curious. Have you watched any of Sakurai's like design videos that he posts on YouTube? And two, what's your opinion on Sakurai?
All of them. He's a legendary game designer. I look up to him greatly.
I love this YouTube channel that he did for free. Like, lost so much money on it.
Yeah. And it just completely foundational. This is my first game ever. We would be nowhere without those YouTube videos.
Well, that's awesome because I think that was like the point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so cool to hear. When I was watching them personally, I just like game design, but I'm not, doing it. But I was just like, oh, it's so cool that he's just like showing people the process. And yeah, I kind of like gushing at how cool he is.
Totally. Yeah.
Fellow Sakurai.
I've obviously experienced screen shake and hit stop and stuff through my whole life, but those videos helped me put a name to it and identify like where and when to use those techniques and to make a good game out of it.
Thank you so much, Colin, for your time. And thank you for letting me play. It was really fun.
Yeah, my pleasure.